this is my project at the end of it, so I kind of just wanted to raise awareness towards all that's happening with Asians in America right now. They're kind of going through a hard time, and kind of just wanted to have a conversation with a couple people and kind of spread knowledge to people of what it's like growing up and representing a whole race.
You know, like, you're gonna get hate as an Asian athlete, and that's something that you have to overcome. You're gonna get people pulling their eyes back at you and laughing at you. People are going to objectify you and hate you, and they're going to put more effort into destroying your journey than, you know, adding to their own.
My name is John Ferrarelli.
I'm Warren Wiriajaya.
Hello, I'm Casey Toe.
I'm Indonesian American.
I'm Japanese and Italian.
I am half Chinese, half Indonesian, and I'm from Hong Kong. Honestly, I didn't really have anybody who encouraged me to get into sports. I feel like that's part of the problem with representation. There was no one who looked like me, and I didn't have anyone I was close to who also did sports or whatever.
So my dad kind of inspired me to play basketball. He's the one who encouraged me. He saw my interest at an early age, and kind of he's the one who would have me practice at parks and stuff. My mom's kind of the opposite. She kind of wanted me to get good grades and study more instead of playing sports.
My parents did, for sure. They always brought me to the tennis courts when I was younger. They always encouraged me to get outside whenever it was nice enough and not be lazy.
So you see the sweatshirt I'm wearing kind of has Jeremy Lin on it, so I guess you could say he was kind of my role model growing up. I think it's very important to have role models. Role models are kind of like what you build your future on. You see someone doing something that you want to do, and you work yourself towards doing that.
It's so much more encouraging knowing that, okay, someone with my struggles and who looks like me and gets what I'm going through has succeeded. It's like a guarantee that if you put in the work that they put in, that you can succeed too. But without that kind of representation, you're just wondering, okay, is my hard work actually going to pay off?
Yes, they impacted me because they forced me to want to succeed like they did. And having role models is always good because it's something to model your life and your game after.
There was not a single other Asian athlete that I knew of at the time, which is a problem. There's barely any now, but there's some at least. But yeah, it wasn't fun because I'm also an Asian immigrant, and so when in elementary school, I would get made fun of you don't belong here because you're Asian. You can't be an athlete because you're this teeny little Asian girl. You're not one of us, kind of thing. And it's just hard, and that's something that kind of everyone has to overcome.
In my elementary school, when I was kind of that age, you don't really notice differences like that. You don't really look at other people and think oh, they don't look like me. But if you look at my classes, I am one of the only people of color in my class. And then growing up through middle school, that's when you kind of develop the knowledge that, oh, I don't look like many other people. And that can be hard sometimes. It definitely feels lonely. You feel kind of isolated. Imagine you have no one to relate to.
If you're talking about Asian, no. I was the only Asian kid in Academy Ave for all 4 years. At the time, I didn't think much of it because as a little kid, you don't really think about races and stuff. But looking back at it, it's pretty cool.
Yes, 100%. I take a lot of pride in my skin and where I come from, to the point that I feel like I need to represent them and just go against that stereotype of oh, Asians are only book smart. They can't be athletic. They can't do this or that. And just prove to the world that, like, no, like, we're on the same level, and despite the circumstances, you can succeed, because who knows when the next Asian track athlete is going to come around, and I want to be that person for them that I didn't have growing up.
Being a small percent, you definitely have a greater responsibility to represent for your race. If I go out in public and play basketball and I am just very bad, that puts an image in other people's minds that, oh, all Asians can't play at a high level. So when I go out on the floor and I'm the only Asian out there, I definitely feel kind of like a greater responsibility to perform at a higher level and represent for all my people.
Of course. We're not in Quincy, we're in Weymouth, where there's like, I don't know, 10 Asian kids per grade. I mean, you feel like you gotta represent that part of your life more compared to other places. Like, you're not living in Asia where you're surrounded by Asians and you feel like you're one of a crowd. So, yeah. Watching her and how much success she's had, it just makes you feel like you want to follow in her footsteps. Maybe on the male side, though, for sure.
It's so exciting to see someone who you can finally connect to, even in the slightest, just like making it. It's like, okay, like, if I work hard, if I do what they do, then like maybe I can make it, you know? It's not that they've never been there and never excelled in sport, it's just that they never got the recognition for it. Even at the high school level, anytime I see another Asian athlete, I'm like, I see you, I get you, and I respect you, because it's just that connection where you just know each other's struggles and you all had to overcome so much more.
You see these people like Rui and Naomi Osaka, you see them rise in their sports and you kind of feel encouraged. You feel like you can do it too. So it definitely is encouraging seeing all these athletes starting to come up finally, all these Asians coming up in their pro sports.
It's like a journey that every single Asian athlete has to overcome in order to get to where they want to go. And it's just about being unapologetically you and embracing your skin. And they're going to hate you, but I guess just like look them in the eye and tell them, like, you have all of the privilege in the entire world, and yet you still can't do half the shit I can do.
It becomes bigger than just athletes. In the media, we're finally getting like we're being popularized as like a victim, and you can see like these videos of like old men being pushed to the ground and being killed.
It's awful.
So I think it starts somewhere. So everything stems from something else. So if you can respect an Asian athlete, you can respect an Asian person, you can respect everyone.